Hey guys, welcome to Let's Play Splatoon. I'm Sonic Ghost.
I'm a turn unique.
And I want to be a squid kid. I'm after my...
You ruined it!
I mean, so much so you cut out, so you're just Matt now. I mean, that's fine. Welcome to Splatoon.
I'm not a squid kid. I'm not a squid kid no more.
You're just a kid. No squid, just kid. So, welcome to Splatoon on the Wii U. One of the only games on the Wii U that really utilized that gyro. Good. So much so, I'm going to be turning it off after the tutorial.
What's a Wii U?
I don't know. Is that one thing that Nintendo doesn't like to talk about next to the Virtual Boy?
All joking aside, I actually like this system a lot, so...
This is one of the best games on the system. And it was so good, it did get a sequel in the first couple months of the Switch's lifespan, which is great, and it's one of the reasons why I wanted to buy a Switch when it first came out. Splatoon is great. This was one of the new IPs that was done right and was hugely successful. The last time something like this happened was Pikmin back on the GameCube. So it's been over a decade since Nintendo had a huge success with a new IP.
Has it?
Yeah.
New IP, mind you.
Yeah.
The originals.
I guess I'm thinking back. I'm just like...
Because they tried other ideas, like the whole Wii lineup in general, like with the Miis, and that didn't do as well. I mean, the only reason why Wii Sports is one of the best-selling games ever is just because it was a pack-in game with the Wii. So, there's that.
I guess the last major new IP Nintendo did make that was really good was Pikmin. I think you're right. I'm trying to... I was like, really? Has it gone back that long ago?
It's been a while.
Like, holy crap. By the way, if you guys can't tell, Lester's obsessed with this series.
Oh, I love the Splatoon series.
He'll be talking mostly through this playthrough. I know he's the one who recorded it, but he knows a lot more than like I do. Game a lot too. This is one of my favorite Wii U games.
This was one of those like surprising games for me. Like, this one came out of nowhere. When they first showed this off at E3, I thought it was alright, but I got a lot of Nickelodeon vibes in this when they first showed it off. They really pushed for that Nickelodeon color scheme.
Yeah, and orange and green.
I like the colors they used.
Yeah,
it's really good and colorful. But the thing is, that E3 was not one of the best ways to show it, because when Splatoon was first revealed, I think it was, what, E3 2014 at the time? They pushed this game so much as filler, because there were a lot of moments where they were supposed to show more stuff for other games, but apparently that got delayed a bit on the show floor, so they used Splatoon to fill the gaps. So there was a lot of Splatoon coverage that year, and honestly, it was fun, but it took up a lot of Nintendo's show. So I didn't really have any interest, but then when the global test file released before the game came out, I tried it, like, alright, let's just see what this game has entailed, and oh man, it was fun. It was a fresh new take, no pun intended, a fresh new take on the idea of a shooter game. It was a really nice change, honestly. And the motion control here really works well, but for this playthrough, I'm turning it off only because this is at a time where I'm not very used to using gyro control with a giant gamepad. It's a lot better on the Switch.
When did you record this?
This was actually when I was doing my Let's Play, so this was before the Switch came out last year in 2016, at the time of recording this. I mean, these videos are going up in 2018, so yes, this was like about a year ago.
Yeah, man, we really need to get back on the backlog a lot. I mean, we're getting better about it, but good lord.
I mean, this is still pretty fresh. I mean, again, with the no pun intended, God, that's going to come up a lot. Because that's the whole slogan they use for this. Every time you end the news, Callie Marie goes, stay fresh. So that's going to come up a lot unintentionally.
Captain Cuttlefish.
Captain Cuttlefish, yes.
Cuttlefish I really like. He's that, like, crazy old man kind of character, but he has a lot of hilarious charm behind him.
Yeah. He's like Master Splinter from Ninja Turtles.
Pretty much.
But, I think the way you have it set up is you're just going through single player, right?
We're just really covering the single player here, yeah.
Okay. This game, I should mention, is mostly multiplayer based. If you want to have more fun with this game, you probably play multiplayer on this and single player. Single player only has like a 6-hour campaign, and that's about it.
It's even shorter than 6. Like, even if you 100% this game, because that's what we're doing. I'm getting all the scrolls here. The only thing we're not doing is upgrading all the guns, because there's literally no point to doing that. It's just a time waster at that point, so for the playthrough's sake, we're not doing it. You definitely want to upgrade your gear, but it takes a while.
Expect that in Splatoon 2, where Lester's going to be upgrading all the guns in the game to get all the hero relics.
Oh my, okay, do you guys want to be there for a 100-part playthrough? Because that's how long it's going to take.
Well, I think he just volunteered himself, Lester, to do that, the way it sounds. No, you just volunteered, so have fun with it.
No,
I mean, I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a good segue into the two games campaigns. I honestly feel like Splatoon 2 definitely had the more unique style gameplay, because you got to swap weapons and all that between stages. But I don't know, I feel like Splatoon 1's single player, I think, impressed me more. There's a lot of moments that really got me in Splatoon 2, but this one just felt really interesting. Like, you haven't seen any kind of first-person shooter or any kind of platformer do anything in this kind of style for their campaign. So it really just felt different.
Yeah, this has been more of a third-person shooter slash platformer.
Yeah, and there's platforming elements here I wouldn't even think to see in a standard platformer. I feel like this one left more of an impression on me after my first playthrough compared to Splatoon 2. Because I feel like Splatoon 2 single player was more like an expansion off this. It felt very similar. Doesn't mean it's bad, that's for sure, but it's very similar.
They had a lot of new stuff in Splatoon 2, though. There was a lot of new mechanics that they threw in, which I'm happy about.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, if you're wondering why this game is short when it comes to the main story, look how fast he's going.
Yeah, this game has so quick movement. That's the whole point. Because single player, you're mainly supposed to be playing through this just to get an idea of the controls and how certain guns work. I mean, you mainly get the gun thing down in Splatoon 2, but in this one, this at least teaches you the basics. So you'll learn this kind of movement, and then you'll do this in the multiplayer. The reason why we're not really covering multiplayer here is just because there's not much you can really do with that for a channel like us. We can just kind of get together and play some matches if we want in the future. But if you've been around to, like, if you see my Let's Play on my channel, if you've seen some of the streams, we've had League members in that before. So it's nothing really different in that regard. Like I said, we can always go back if people want that.
just hop on his channel, look at some of his streams, and there you go, his multiplayer. And not only that, I don't know how many people still play the first game online nowadays.
It's mainly because of with Splatoon 2, because you have all the modes returning from this game in that one. So there's not much of a reason to go back to this game, unless you don't have a Switch.
Unfortunately, I'd only ever play this game anymore for, single-player content, because I think I've done all... I mean, I haven't 100%ed the multiplayer.
No, good luck with that. I haven't either.
Good luck with that. I haven't... I had no intention to, because when I play multiplayer online stuff anyways, I don't care about that stuff, so...
The biggest problem with it is it's kind of a grind fest, because there's a lot of stuff that'll just be random. So it really depends, what gear shows up in the shops, what kind of perks you can get on your equipment. That kind of stuff is just kind of random. And trying to get the best ranking for the rank mode stuff, oh god. Oh, no. That is just pure luck, honestly. It really depends on who you play against, and you need to play that with friends. Thank God they fixed that in an update, where you can pair it with people. Although, Splatoon 2 kind of bugs me about that, because the League mode is supposed to be the rank mode that you play with your friends, but there's no score that transfers over to that. It's just a score that's only there for that time period. So every 2 hours it resets. I kind of want to just upgrade my ranking, so with friends I want to be able to go up to an A+, but I can't do that in Splatoon 2 for some reason. I gotta do it by myself, which makes it a lot harder.
The collectibles in this game he's getting, there's only one. In Splatoon 2, there's two. But, the first game, the collectibles are the Sunken Sea Scrolls, which you can see on the top right-hand corner, next to his, eggs, which are the experience points for the weapons and stuff.
Yeah, it's your currency.
Those are nothing more than to tell lore of the world of Dinkopolis. That's about it.
Kind of, because there are certain scrolls you actually want to collect for multiplayer purposes, and really the only ones you need in that regard are the ones that you get from the boss fights. Because those ones unlock new weapons that show in the shop.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Which you want those weapons, yeah. One of the ones behind there is one of the fan favorites, I believe, the golden arrow spray. which is one of my favorites in the game. It's great for turf war.
Yeah, I like golden arrows breakdown. The good all around.
I feel like it's a little bit better here compared to the one in Splatoon 2, but it always depends on its loadout.
Well, I noticed that in Splatoon 2, they kind of like nerfed a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean?
Yeah, they changed up things a lot, but to be fair, the biggest change that they did in Splatoon 2 to nerf things in general were the specials. Because there were just some specials in Splatoon 1 that were just flat out broken if you knew how to use them right. One of the biggest ones is the bubble.
Kraken?
Kraken. Well, actually, Kraken was one for a while when the game first came out, but after like the first couple patches, it didn't become as useful. Because you would get pushed back whenever you're in the Kraken form, making it way harder to actually do anything in the form. I found that the Bubbler is one of the most broken powers in this game. Because you could just turn that thing on, stand in front of your enemies, and just taunt them. They can barely push you back when you get shot. It's ridiculous at how strong the Bubbler was.
But yeah, I have really fond memories of this game. I still actually have footage of the final Splatfest on my computer in case I ever wanted to record this game. And that was like 2 years ago.
It's sad that a lot of that stuff ended after the first year, though. Because this game got regular content updates for like a year, and then it stopped it. Because while the player base for this was big, the Wii U install base is not. So that doesn't help.
Yeah, the Wii U was like, in lifetime sales, it only hit 14 million units.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, at the time of recording this, the Switch's sales is catching up to the Wii U and hasn't even been out for a year yed.
Oh, by the way,
quick.
speaking of which, I know this is completely off topic. In a little article I saw today, Pokken Tournament DX's lifetime sales are almost on par with the Wii U's versions.
I mean, that's not surprising because besides like hardcore fighting game fans, it didn't really stick for a lot of people because it didn't get any updates. So people didn't have much of an interest on the Wii U port, but the Switch port is getting pretty regular updates.
I'd have to say that's probably one of my favorite fighting games is Pokken. So
it's one of the most unique ones, that's for sure.
But
I mean,
that's
it's
a
really
topic
good.
for another. That's a topic for another Let's Play. If we have
Oh yeah, I mean, get back to me after the Fighter Z comes out, and we'll see which fighting game I prefer more. That's not Smash Brothers, because God, that's looking amazing.
I was just talking about this earlier today with some people. I said, "Man, Dissidia and Fighter Z are coming out the same freaking month, and Monster Hunter World." But
It's ridiculous, yeah.
it's ridiculous. I mean, I'm probably not going to pick up any of those right now because I'm trying to actually save money for right now.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Holiday season was rough.
After this holiday season, I couldn't anymore.
Yep.
Too much.
It was rough. God. Everything at once.
By the way, like I said before, those little orange circles are fish eggs that he's collecting, which are used for experience points to kind of like upgrade his gear and stuff that he has for single player.
One of the things I would definitely recommend getting first when you have enough eggs is to buy the bomb upgrades, because there's only one you have to buy for each type, and it's just to unlock it. You're going to want to have Seekers, because that's great for travel. You just throw one out in front of you, you can swim in your ink. Burst Bombs are great just for having a quick little thing of... Yeah. This is short because... I told you, this game is short. But the burst bombs, one of the things I love about those, if you're just trying to travel and things, just throw a quick burst bomb down. It gives you a lot of ink, and for single player, that's really convenient.
By the way, I love this boss. It's a good introductory boss to what you expect in this game.
Oh, I love when this thing comes back in Splatoon 2.
I love it too.
It was really funny. I feel like the bosses in that game are definitely more unique than this one, but at the same time, bosses in Splatoon 1 definitely have their charm. I mean, this is just basically, you know, a thwomp. So there's not much special here. Just dodge it and climb. That's about it.
Octo Stamp. And I love it. It's funny because he leaves an imprint of his face on the ground. If you spray, that's a nice little attention to detail right there. Yeah. He stamps you on the ground. He leaves an imprint of his face on the ground. I think if we see it, you'll be able to see
Well, one of my favorite things, actually, is if you look at his legs, it's just like little doll legs, and it makes no sense for this giant body.
Someone's a little lopsided. His his feet were, his legs were like twirling around like a little propeller.
That's why I said his legs just don't match his body. It's one of the most hilarious things about this boss. It's just out of place.
Yeah.
Yeah, World 1 is the shortest in the game because there's only 3 stages and 1 boss. It's just your introduction to things. After this, then the worlds get longer.
Which, I don't know about you, but I felt like the campaign went a little longer in Splatoon than the first game.
Yeah, Splatoon 2 is definitely longer. We could definitely get into more than that in the next part.